Turning now to our nation's capital, where the halls of Congress are empty. We are now 1 hour into a government shutdown. It's the first shutdown since December of 2018. That one lasted for 35 days, but it was only a partial shutdown. This shutdown is happening after a funding vote failed in the Senate. The Democratic plan, which would have extended Affordable Care Act subsidies and reversed cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, that fell along party lines, 47 to 53. Moments later, the Republican-backed clean bill failed 55 to 45. Both measures needed 60 votes to pass. Hours before the shutdown took effect, President Trump admitted that a shutdown was likely and placed the blame on Democrats. He warned Democrats of cuts to programs, layoffs, and even reduced benefits.
So we're doing well as a country, so the last thing we want to do is shut it down. But a lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
Up to 4 million federal workers could go without pay, including tens of thousands right here in Washington. Now, with the Democrats unsuccessful in their attempt to restore health care funding, it only emphasizes the question, what is the future of health care here in Washington state? That question is the center of our latest town hall, where I moderated a conversation between healthcare professionals. You can find that town hall right now by pointing your phone's camera at the QR code here on your screen. That'll take you to KOMO's YouTube channel, where the town hall is live right now. You can also find the future of Medicaid now at youtube.com/KOMO News. As we are keeping track of the local impacts a shutdown could bring, we turn our eyes now to the skies. Taking a live look at SeaTac Airport, the shutdown could have ripple effects on air travel.
I travel a lot for work, and the mornings could be really impacted.
TSA agents at security checkpoints are expected to keep working without pay during this shutdown. We want to go now to our Jackie Kent, who's live at SeaTac. Jackie, what are you hearing out there?
Yeah, Steve, a Port of Seattle spokesperson tells me they are working with their federal partners to try to keep operations here as normal as possible. Take a look behind me. That's what we're seeing right now, a decent-sized line to get through security, and you can see that TSA agents are working. That was a concern for a lot of people we talked to in the past few hours. Travelers wondering if TSA agents stop working, if that would make these lines even longer. You might remember when we covered the latest shutdown that stretched from the end of 2018 into the beginning of 2019. That was a little over a month long. We saw TSA agents, they weren't being paid. They are considered essential employees, but they were expected to show up to work without being paid, and then they were retroactively given a paycheck after the fact. And so at the time, the union rep for those agents said a lot of those workers were considering either quitting their jobs or looking for part-time work just to make ends meet. So that has been something we've heard as a concern from travelers, both for the workers and also what that means for their travel time as well. Looking ahead, the port is trying to figure out how they can help these workers who will not be paid. And as for travel tips, they maintain their usual suggestions of getting here a couple hours before your flight, even 3 hours if you have an international flight. And also their Spot Saver is still an option to help you get through security just a little bit faster. For now, live at SeaTac, I'm Jackie Kent.
Jackie, thanks for being with us tonight. So a government shutdown doesn't hit every community the same. Places that rely more on federal jobs or services, they could feel it more. Here in Washington state, we have more than 58,000 federal civilian employees, putting our state in the top 10 nationwide. Each federal agency develops its own shutdown plan. So let's go over some of the key players. The Food and Drug Administration will not accept new drug applications. Some government programs, including SNAP, also known as food stamps, that could eventually run out. And so could WIC, the nutrition program for women, infants, and children. Meanwhile, FBI investigators, CIA officers, air traffic controllers, and agents who operate airport checkpoints, they will keep working. So will our members of the armed forces. Social Security payments, those will continue to go out. Seniors who rely on Medicare coverage, they can still see their doctors and healthcare providers and submit claims for payment and reimbursement. And you will still get your mail. The U.S. Postal Service is unaffected by a government shutdown. We spoke with Seattle's mayor today, and he tells us at the top of his priority list is healthcare programs, housing help, and food assistance.
We will work with our community-based organizations and our professionals here in the city. We'll answer questions and do everything we can to make sure there's not an obvious disruption, but we could possibly experience that. This is not helping the American people. It's not helping people in Seattle.
So that brings us to our KOMO Pulse Poll. And this is the question we want to know. You can scan your QR code here to participate. We'd like to know, how worried are you about the impact of a government shutdown on your daily life? This is a live look at the results coming in. And right now, 72% of you say that you're not very concerned. 12% of you say you're somewhat concerned. And 16% of you say you are very concerned. Again, if you want to weigh in, just scan the code here on your screen. It'll take you directly to our story at KOMOnews.com.